Big picture, we all came here to make crazy money, right? Because I know I did. Yes, I did come here likely before many of you back in 2017 when I got started, which means I've had longer to see that most don't make and keep profits in crypto. But also see that the 5% that do crypto right make the crazy money you can't make anywhere else. So now, why did I come here? Well, crazy gains. Why did you come here? Isn't it so that you can be on a tropical beach anytime you want in, say, 5 years? Or that huge house with a pool, a maid, and a 10-car garage? Or even that supercar that you're always thinking about? Many of you are married with kids and you want to give them the best of everything. And doing the right things financially can change your finances forever. So listen closely. Crypto is about playing the long game. Most try to trade in and out of cryptos that are hot. This doesn't work. This will not work for you. It doesn't even really work for crypto YouTube channels that show doing this. In most every case, if it wasn't for the views that those crypto YouTube channels got, as well as their sponsor revenues, they'd be broke. But if you are patient, I'll share with you what does really work, but only if you're patient. Because frankly, if you're not patient, nothing in crypto is going to work anyway. So we all come into crypto expecting crazy gains. And here we are in mid-2025, and crypto is not quite going crazy yet. If you look at the bigger picture, things are actually going really well. Bitcoin's lows were way down in the $14,000 range, and Bitcoin's been hovering around $104,000. Yeah, so about $90,000 over where it was just, 18 months ago? So people that say crypto isn't going well, they're distorting the picture. Now, a lot of the bigger altcoin market hasn't run yet, and it will. Bitcoin is doing quite well. Some of the larger cap crypto altcoins, the ISO coins like XRP, they're up 4 or 5x from their bottom, like XLM, XRP. So they've even made some gains. But what many are really saying is there's not the crazy action happening that sometimes we see. Now, let me ask you, how often do we see this? Pretty much it's every 4 years. Now, it's not exactly on the 4-year dot, but we saw it back in 2021. We saw it in 2017. We saw it in 2013. So roughly every 4 years, crypto goes absolutely bananas where everybody in the world is talking about it. But this time, crypto's influence is bigger than it's ever been before, and crypto is going to be the biggest word of 2025 you're going to see. Now, 2024, it was really big as Donald Trump won the presidency and Bitcoin broke to new highs. People were talking about it. It was one of the bigger words, or one of the biggest words in 2024, but nothing like it's going to be in 2025. As Bitcoin breaks 150,000, 165,000, maybe even breaking upwards from there to 250,000 or 300,000, everybody in the world is going to be talking about Bitcoin and their crypto. It's going to be the biggest word being mentioned by anyone everywhere. And suddenly you're going to be a celebrity because you've been here in crypto for the long game. And so back to that idea of patience. Let's talk about what does work compared to like the trading in and out of stuff. Here's what doesn't work. So a lot of people scan crypto YouTube or crypto Twitter, and they're looking for what's hot, and they try to jump into that, and then usually they end up jumping in a little bit late. Maybe they make a little bit of gains as they jump out, and then they look for the next item and the next item. And even if they win 3 or 4 times in a row, they might throw it into an item that absolutely gets dumped on, goes down 90%. And not only are they no longer ahead, they're way behind. And this is what so many people do in crypto, and it doesn't work. What does work is simple, but you have to have the discipline to do it. And it's buy low, sell high over the greater 4-year crypto cycle. Now, there's some advantages of this. If you're trading in and out of cryptos repeatedly, in many jurisdictions, tax implications are probably what they call short-term capital gains. So your rate of taxation is higher. In many jurisdictions, if you hold the same crypto for over a year, you pay lower capital gains. In some cases, you pay no capital gains in some countries. So there's positive advantages in most countries to holding it for a longer period. But the more important advantage is it's a better approach to buy low and sell high over the greater 4-year crypto cycle. So it is a little bit about playing the long game and stacking the odds in your favor. So is it fair to say that when you play blackjack, normally the odds are stacked against you and they're stacked for the house? Well, yes, that is fair to say. But have you all seen the movie, I think it's called 21, where there's a Harvard professor and he takes some of his advanced math students and he teaches them how to count cards. And in essence, by counting cards and working together as a team, they were able to stack the odds in their favor. By stacking the odds in their favor, over a period of time, they made tremendous money. This doesn't mean they won every hand. It doesn't even mean they won every night. But strategically, over time, they won huge by stacking the odds in their favor. What I like about this buy low, sell high strategy, but not just buying anything this low, buying selected projects where they have a real business use case that blockchain and cryptographical encryption makes sense for, with a good team and a strong chance of survivability until the coming bull market. And you're buying those low, and then you're waiting sometimes a year, sometimes 2 years, sometimes 3 years for crypto to go crazy again. And then you're selling into that. Now, here's what I'll tell you. It takes massive patience to do this. So though this approach would work for anyone, it won't work for the impatient. It might not work for you. You might not have the tenacity to hold on and let this work for you. So I heard about this study that supposedly Fidelity did into their clients that had made the highest gains in their portfolios. And as they looked into their clients that had made the highest gains, they found out that it was their dead clients that had made the highest gains, because they had just held the same positions for a while because they were passed away. Isn't that interesting? Trading in and out and jumping around doesn't even work well in stocks, especially doesn't work well in crypto. But this idea of making smart strategic placements during the bear market and holding to the bull market is good. It works extremely well. Now, we're at this point in time that blow off top of the bull market probably isn't that far away. But if you noticed on altcoin prices, many are as cheap or cheaper than they've been the whole bear market, which is a very interesting time. So that you can make some placements even this late in the game when the bull market might be 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 months away. And when I say bull market, I'm talking about the utter craziness that comes as the crypto market completely explodes before it then pulls back drastically. You have this little window to make your placements beforehand, because when it starts running, it can run crazy. And in 2017 and in 2021, I saw projects go 30x in a matter of a few days. So if you think you're going to have this time to jump in after it's gone crazy, you're wrong. You're wrong. Say you took $1,000 placement and you put it in something, say, well, it's nice and slow right now on some altcoin project you're interested in. And your friend decides they're going to wait to put it in until they see the action happening. And then one day you wake up and it's gone up 15x. And your friend looks at that and he's like, oh, I'm going to wait. The next day, it's up 2x from what it just was. So you're up a total of 30x. And your friend's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to jump in. So your $1,000 now worth $30,000. And they're just now putting in $1,000. And let's say it does another 5x from there. So now your $1,000 is $150,000. And their $1,000 is just $5,000. You know, that second strategy is what a lot of people try to do. And this is why even when it goes well for them, it doesn't go very well. But for the person that put in the money when it was slow and it seemed like it would never happen, their gains are tremendous. And this is a strategy that everyone I know that is rich in the crypto space has taken. But the hard part is the patience that it requires, because when you're putting in a bear market, sometimes the price goes lower than what you put in at. That's okay. You're not looking to sell yet. You're looking to sell when things go absolutely crazy. That's when you sell. And we're not there yet. So if prices go down, it's a good time to dollar cost average even at those extremely low prices. If the price goes up, well, it's not time to buy more. At least you got in at some good prices. The question is, are there other good projects that are still really, really low that do have good potential to do well? Now, some doubt that the altcoin market is even going to come. And I get it. People doubted that in 2017. People really doubted it in 2021. In fact, they made similar arguments to what people are making now. In 2020 and 2021, they said there's so many altcoins out there that just the amount of altcoins out there, it just not everything can run. And so, like, you know, there will be no real altcoin rally this time. And they were just wrong. They weren't wrong that there were tens of thousands of altcoins out there now, and not everything ran. In fact, a lot of things didn't run, but the substantive projects with good leadership that were actually developing something that the Web3 world needed, they did incredibly well. And this time it's going to play out the same, that those substantive projects, they're developing something that the Web3 world needs. They're going to get a lot of traction in this bull market. So we are live today. Let me jump in and catch up on some chats. Justin, what's up, brother? Kronar, good to see you. Chris, what's up, brother? Let's go. Terminator is back in the house. Hey, Jay, do you think that the bull run will still take off even if the Fed doesn't cut rates? Yes, it will. Fed can control their rates, but I guess bond yields and mortgage rates are coming down. There's a number of reasons for this, but yeah, so some rates are still coming down. I do think they will cut interest rates, but the bull run is still going to happen even if they don't. It just won't quite be as powerful. All you really need to do is buy low and do nothing. Just hold. It's funny, Hardcore. You're saying it exactly right. And so many people struggle with this. They just can't do it. And when they look at their portfolio values and it dips because, say, possible World War III with Iran and Russia and China or whatever, they freak out and they sell and they move their positions around and it devastates their portfolio. Game Trove, good to see you. Serious question. For every person scammed in crypto, how many other people do you think they told that crypto is a scam? Interesting. Yeah, there are a lot of scammers in crypto. There are a whole lot. I wish those scammers would use their intelligence and skills to actually build something of value. But some people try to shortcut it and they just use their intelligence to try to take from others. And there are a lot of scammers out there. Scammers that create bogus projects. In fact, almost every single one of my videos gets a total. They have bots that like scan for a new video launched by me, and all these bot accounts that get created that post all these comments about some new crypto, what do they say, pre-sale or ICO sale. If you have the ability to go in and buy at a pre-sale or ICO sale from the internet, it is 100% a scam. You should not be able to go in and just buy tokens from whatever XYZ project that's doing a launch from their website. Now, back in 2017, yes, anything that is doing that now is a scam. Justin says, I think the crypto haters will eat their words. They will. They did in 2021. And then when it crashed back down, they're like, see, I was right. And it's like, well, you weren't right, because of those that bought in 2018, 2019, and 2020, and we sold a bunch in 2021, made life-changing gains, and you've made nothing. And now you're saying you're right? Like, you were wrong. You were massively wrong. So they'll eat their words. Now, did everyone play it the way that I did and the people that I know that made massive gains? No, most didn't. What I'm sharing with you is how we think about it. That's not what most people do. Most people trade in and out of different projects. And look, I could, with my YouTube channel, focus on getting a really big YouTube channel by just saying what everyone else on CryptoYoup is doing, lead to a much bigger channel by covering whatever is way up by 10x and saying, yeah, buy more, buy more. And by the way, use my DevvExchange link as you trade. So the YouTubers can make a lot of money by getting people to trade in and out of projects and using their Bybit link, because they get paid commissions as those happen. I make great money through my investments. I don't need money from YouTube to make money. My investments have retired me and allow me to make whatever choices. And like you, I'm fully redeployed into crypto for this coming bull run. Now, this time I'm going to pull money out and put it outside of crypto, a bunch of it. Why? So I have passive gains for forever, or passive returns for forever, and I can do whatever I want whenever I want. But I don't need the revenues from YouTube. So I don't care about a Bybit referral link. And I especially don't want to try to make you do the things that I know would make you lose in crypto by trading every day or trading often, in and out of positions, just because I'd make money from a Bybit referral link or, whatever exchange referral link. No, I'm here sharing with you what I know works. And together we've grown a community that we're able to bring on the projects that want to talk to ask them more about their project, to interview the CEO or the spokesperson or the chief marketing officer, find out what's going on in their project, to make better informed decisions on good long-term positions that I want to take and hold, and sharing that journey with you. All right. So that is what works, is buy low, sell high over the greater 4-year crypto cycle. But if that's what works, why are there so few people that do it? Right? Why are there so few? Because it doesn't feel sexy to do that. It doesn't stimulate dopamine over and over and over again. It's, yes, strategically exactly the right play. Now, why do most people don't learn to count cards so that they can beat the house over the long term all the time at blackjack? Well, number one, casinos made it illegal. And so if they catch you doing it, it's not like it's illegal. They just won't allow you to play blackjack at their casino, and they'll share your information with other people. So you can't play at those either. So there's that. And secondly, it's very hard to learn how to take the strategic approach and take emotions out of it so that you're not truly gambling. And so you're stacking the odds in your favor. And guess what? In the crypto space, though, making massive gains over a long period is simple. Your emotions are going to work against you. What happens when you buy a position that's a good position? Say you had gone back and you had bought a Coinbase token in 2020 when the new app had launched, and you're like, yes, they have this new VV app and it's got Batman on it. Like, oh my gosh, you can buy a Batman digital collectible. This is incredible. And then over the coming 3 weeks, it goes down by 2/3. Be frustrating. You can play with your emotions. Now, had you just continued to hold that position for the next 6 months from there, it would have 1,000x from where you bought at and 3,000x from the bottom. But a lot of people didn't, because even those that bought then, they washed out, they sold, they traded out of their non-sexy position that wasn't doing anything to roll it into something that felt like it was hot. So in other words, they sold their position. It went down by 2/3, or excuse me, they bought their position. It went down by 2/3, and then they rolled it into something else that they probably were buying high in that lately too. So the only ones who made money on that was, well, the exchanges, right? And whatever exchange link that, like if some YouTube person, you were using their exchange link, they made money on it, but you didn't. So how is it that you become rich and you achieve your financial goals? I'm telling you, the only real serious way is buy low, sell high over the greater 4-year period. It is a greater period. Now we're maybe 2 months away, 6 months away, 9 months away. It might be late this year. It could even be early next quarter. It's hard to tell exactly when it's going to be. But when you're there, you know it, because everyone in the world will be talking about crypto. News station will be talking about crypto all the time. And they kind of are once in a while. But I'm going to tell you, like, everyone will be abuzz about crypto and how their friend made 5 times their money and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, at that point, you might be sitting up massively because you've taken your positions beforehand. And in that period when everyone is now buying, that's when you're selling, because what does go up also comes down. I'm glad you guys joined us for our live stream. You know what happens on our Friday live streams. We do giveaways thanks to our strategic partners. And as you can see by our little logo here, down below in the left, WanChain and Debunking are our strategic partners. Now, WanChain I've been following all the way back since 2018. They promised to do cross-chain compatibility so that chains could communicate with each other. Now, back then, like, there was only Bitcoin's network and ETH's network that was really functional. And Tron's network really had Tron USDT, like the USDT stablecoin on it. So I couldn't fully imagine what interoperability would look like. But here we are in 2025, and WanChain has built their Xflows system so that you can exchange value between different chains really easy. And it's incredible what WanChain has done with that. And it's fun for me because I first bought WanChain during that bear market, I think probably in 2020, when its price got cheap, and I was really excited to buy it so cheap. And watching what they put together, especially a lot of their technology has really come together in the last 18 months. So during this last bear market, and it's incredible what they put together. Well, they're good enough that they give us 500 WAN to give away in our Friday live stream when we do it once a month. So we'll be giving out 500 WAN. Now, here's how you win is you're the first to answer the question correctly as it shows up on my screen. Because if you're the first to answer the question, it might show up on your screen. Like sometimes you'll see that it instantly goes to your screen. It will look like on your screen that you beat someone else who actually beat you, because it instantly pops up on your screen because of the way the latency works. But I have to go off of the one that has the correct answer on my screen first. So let me just bring in here, and well, this is the overall chart. This is Bitcoin's chart. That's not as relevant so much as we'll look at the answers in just a bit. Let me pull them up. Where did they go? You know, I've got 2 screens these days, and it's crazy with the 2 screens how many windows I can end up having open. It's quite absurd. All right, so Here's the first question. It's about OneChain. Then we'll do our Dfinity question. So OneChain question, as of June 18th, how much WAN token has been permanently burned? As of June 18th, how much WAN token has been permanently burned? So if you've been following them, they implement a token that as their Xflows gets used and their bridge gets used, they're burning WAN now. So it's a deflationary token. And they burned a certain amount. And Chris is the first one with the correct answer of 800,000. Congratulations, Chris. You know what to do. Send me your OneChain address through Telegram, and I will get you taken care of. All right. So same rules apply for our Dfinity question, but you'll see, hold on, I want to show you here. Right here, if you're not following OneChain on Twitter, what are you doing? So less than a year ago, we launched our convert and burn mechanism to fuel the OneChain ecosystem. Today, we're proud to announce that 800,000 WAN has been permanently burned. Okay, 800,000 WAN. And let's look at this. So right now, OneChain's trading at 10 cents, which in my opinion is a steal of a deal. It's right at bear market lows. And still, 500 WAN is still $50 in our giveaway. But if OneChain goes to like $10, which would be 100x from here, that's $5,000 from winning one giveaway. So let's look at their total circulating supply. 210 million WAN is their max supply. There's less than that circulating. But they burned 800,000. So that's approximately 0.5% of their supply has been burned this past year. Not bad. Not bad. All right. Next question will be Dfinity. So as you're familiar, Dfinity, Paul, who joins us on Wednesdays, works for Dfinity. And hopefully you've caught the interviews with Manu from Dfinity to find out what it is Dfinity does, because it's exciting. I'm going to go more in depth than here, other than watch the interviews with Manu from Dfinity, so you can see why I agreed to Dfinity being a strategic partner. I'm so cautious on who I agree to be a strategic partner. Like, I got hit up by 3 new projects this last week, and I said no to all of them. So if I say yes to a strategic partner, it's because I really, really, really like the project. And I'm so careful. So about 1% of the projects out there would I say yes to. And OneChain and Dfinity both were ones that I could say yes to. So Dfinity, if you haven't seen what they're about, you're missing it. Check the interviews out with Manu. It's pretty cool what they're doing. So here's my question about Dfinity. Who does Dfinity use as a partner for security, custody, and seamless API trading infrastructure? Yeah, Chris says OneChain also has some good lending and borrowing options. Oh man, Chris, did you hack my computer and get the answers? I know Chris didn't. Chris, thank you. Also, Chris also does. If you watch our Wednesday episodes with Paul, Chris is nice enough to go through and send me the timestamps for it, so I can update the timestamps in it. So if you watch it later, you can have the timestamps in there. Yeah, like Chris actually just knows the secret to winning, which is keeping up with OneChain and Dfinity on Twitter. Like, most of the questions, like over 90%, will come from Twitter. So if you're not following them, you're missing the bigger point. Follow them and keep up with what they're doing so that you can win these giveaways. These giveaways, you know, they're not bad giveaways for now, but it's not about what is the token price now. Is what is the token price going to be when the market goes crazy? So what might be $50 now might be $5,000 or $10,000 then. And so you might be buying a new used car with what you won from one giveaway. So, and that's not even what you made in crypto in general. That's just a piece of what you made in crypto from winning one giveaway. So thanks, Chris. You're doing great. All right. So I've got just a bit of time. I'm open to whatever questions, whatever you want to talk about, what you want to look at, what you want to think about. In the meantime, while you're coming up with your question, I just wanted to share some bigger points. Like, look, in life, there's a few things we're trying to take care of. We're trying to increase our health, which, is important. So like fitness and eating right. We're trying to take care of like growing socially so that we can interact, make friends, grow ourselves there. But the other thing that we're trying to take care of is our finances. This cryptocurrency innovation is allowing the internet to do things it couldn't do before. Specifically, blockchain combined with cryptographic encryption is greatly expanding the capabilities of the internet. And because there's this 4-year boom bust cycle, you have this really compressed cycle where if you're buying when generally things are low and you're selling when things go crazy, the amount of money that you can make surpasses any other business opportunities I've ever seen in, my years on this earth, which might be a lot more than you realize. So this is the opportunity you've been waiting for your whole life, and it's right in front of you. I hope you're taking massive advantage of this. I know when I saw it in 2017, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be huge. And what's funny is I thought when I got started in October of 2017 that everybody in crypto was going to make it absolutely rich. And I would be wrong because most did it all wrong. They jumped around, traded in and out, trading into what was hot and selling what was not to buy what was hot. And it went terrible for them. And so I was shocked to find out that all these people were doing all these wrong things. And I had known because I'd been in the investment space for 18 years. I'm like, I don't think that's going to work out well for them. And it didn't. And after having some time in crypto, I really figured out the game better and better and better the more time I spent here on how to maximize the kind of money you can make. Now, I made a lot of mistakes during buying my first bear market from 2018 through 2020. And still, even with the mistakes, I made gains where if I was just somewhat okay with my money, I'd never have to work again in my life. From just one bear market into the bull market, having made a ton of mistakes. But I did the overall strategy right. I just was new at crypto and trying to figure out how to make bets on good projects versus bad projects. And so many of you started following me back in 2021. So we've been through this bear market together, and I've shared with you a lot of my mistakes, what I learned, and what cost me, what I paid a significant price through some losses so that you can learn from my mistakes. So you can hopefully come up to speed even faster than I did. Chris says, that would be a great story to share if I could buy a car with the giveaway. Thanks. That would be amazing. In fact, you should totally do that. That would be fun. When the bull market takes off and everything starts popping, how long typically does each narrative run for? I'm just looking to see how much time I have to roll gains from, say, gaming into DeFi. It's different. It might run for 2 weeks. It might run for 5 weeks. So just know you do start having to take profits or roll some of it when things take off significantly. Like we were talking about in the pre-live stream. So for those that join our private Patreon, you get access to the private Discord. And private Discord, in fact, it's the only way to get access to the private Discord is by joining the Patreon. But the private Discord is where we have all of our deeper chats. And every Friday we do a live chat where we just talk, frankly, about anything we want to talk about, what's going on with the market or other things. We're talking about how if you roll from something that made a 15x, So say you have a position and you hope it does 50x or 100x over the bull market. And let's say you put $1,000 into it and it goes up 15x. And so you take that $1,000 and you roll that, or now that $15,000, and you roll that into something that then does, say, a 40x from there. That $1,000 became $600,000. So one of the ways you can make so much money is by diversifying across a bunch of things. So say you had over the bear market $10,000 that you kept plugging away in, and you have 10 positions that are $1,000 each. Well, if one goes up ahead of everything else and it does, say, a 15x, even though it might have bigger gains ahead of it, if you took that out and rolled it into a well thought out placement that you're taking a risk on, because you don't know if it will still work out, but that narrative hasn't run yet. So let's say blockchain gaming runs first and you have $1,000 in Illuvium and it becomes $15,000. And you roll that $15,000 into, say, a Comi's OMI token. And then OMI does a 40x from there. You're at $600,000 with that $1,000 you invested. And remember, you still have 9 other positions. So you're in a good place. Kuma, what's up, brother? Hardcore says, of all my holdings, it's the hardest to hold OMI. The downward price action is hard to stomach at times, but they want to shake me out. Yes. What's funny is OMI went 3,000x last bull market. And remember these words: what goes up does come down. And things tend to overcorrect. So it overcorrected too high to the upside. It's now overcorrecting too far to the downside. And what most people are feeling on why it's so hard to hold it is it's corrected so far to the downside. It is shaking so many people out. And the fudders, it just still, to this point, seems like they're right. And so you just feel like you're taking an emotional beating when they're like, I told you to sell at 0.001, and now it's down 80% from there. Okay. Yeah, they're right. It is down 80% there. But is this a good point to sell? No, it's a terrible place to sell. It's an amazing place to buy. Are the fudders going to be ultimately proved wrong? Well, yes and no. It's going to go crazy at a certain point, crazy. And then they'll be proved wrong. But then it will correct back down after swinging too far to the upside. And then they'll come back around. They will shut up for a long time. And then OMI will go way up, and then it'll come down. Then they'll say, see, I told you OMI sucks, blah, blah, blah. Why anybody has any time to sit around and worry about a token that they don't believe in, I don't know. That should be your trigger of why the heck should I be listening to this person? They obviously aren't good at anything, because if they were good at stuff, they would be focusing on the positive things of those rather than sitting around and complaining about a token that, why are they even spending so much time fighting on it? Don't they have better things to do? And the truth is, they don't have better things to do. And that should be your clue that they probably shouldn't be given any credibility by you or anyone. Mark Moss says that crypto BTC mass adoption among institutions has already happened. Will not have an altcoin season this year or ever again. I don't believe that. What are your thoughts? Mark Moss is wrong. He's wrong. So, Bitcoin institutional adoption hasn't happened in a major way yet. There's some adoption there. There's a lot more coming, not only by institutions. Like some institutions have adopted Bitcoin, but the larger wave is coming. Number two, many people said alt season wasn't going to happen in they were saying this late 2020, early 2021, even a month before alts went crazy. They're missing the bigger picture. Why does Bitcoin have value? Well, because cryptographical encryption combined with blockchain allowed a store of value to happen that was never possible before, where you could have something with a fixed long-term supply, a very predictable inflation rate because more Bitcoin does get produced every 10 minutes. And it was outside the control of any government or any person. So as long as it's not hackable, it's literally incorruptible. And so it became a better store of value because of some of its properties. It can be instantly moved anywhere in the world for very low cost. You can hold huge amounts of the store of value. In some ways, it's replacing gold as a store of value. And the wealthy are using it to hold their value. Now, the wealthy also use other things. They use gold. They use fine art and other things to try to retain value in an environment where printed currency just gets devalued because governments overprint it. They don't want to hold that printed currency. They want to hold something that retains value. And Bitcoin's been very well there. Now you're going to see governments adopting it. You're going to see institutions FOMOing in, and that's still coming. The altcoin run not happening, that misses the greater picture that cryptographical encryption combined with blockchain allows certain things within the internet to reduce costs and increase capabilities. So why is it the internet boomed so much in the 90s and early 2000s? Because it reduced costs and increased capabilities. So Web3 reduces costs and increased capabilities within the internet so that things can be more secure. You can use that to verify that, yes, that image you're looking at is a legitimate image released by Marvel of XYZ collectible, or the actual 3D collectible to be used in augmented reality produced by Marvel or produced by so-and-so. You're able to use cryptographical encryption combined with blockchain to verify that that's actually correct. So collecting digitally was never possible before it is now. And there's going to be a wave of adoption towards digital collecting. And that's going to cause that altcoin and that altcoin narrative, so not just OMI to run, but Flow to run, which is another altcoin, that narrative. Chiliz to run, the Chiliz token. DeFi is a really big deal. So tokens that really add value in the DeFi space, they're going to run. And so when people like Mark Moss, who I like Mark Moss, but just because I like him doesn't mean he's right on this. He's dead wrong. So much money will flow into these that are increasing capabilities and reducing costs for what can happen. OneChain allows you to bridge money across all these different networks and bridge value across all these different networks. So that reduces costs while increasing capabilities. That's why I believe in OneChain. Dfinity is allowing these institutions to be able to safely put their money into crypto and trade crypto in a way that they're very familiar with, where they can hold their assets at a bank that they trust and they can trade against those assets without having the exchange hold on to their assets. Well, that adds massive value. So yes, that's going to get some traction in the coming bull run. So Mark's just wrong. And he's been wrong on a lot of things since I began watching him. Doesn't mean he's not smart. He is. He frequently talks about politics, money, and other things. But he was wrong on crypto in 2021 and altcoins in 2021. And he's wrong here. Chris says, Mark Moss infuriates me because such a smart guy, yet he is complete BTC maxi. There is an ulterior motive there somewhere. Absolutely will be an alt run. Yeah. What's funny about these Bitcoin maxis, so I went to the Bitcoin conference in 2021, and I thought it would be more of a crypto conference. No, like 2/3 of the people there were Bitcoin maxis. And anything in their mind that wasn't Bitcoin was a shitcoin. And we were right in the middle of an altcoin run, and yet they were like saying that, altcoins were all shit. And I made so much gains from my altcoins compared to what I made on my Bitcoin. Like, I was like, I don't care if you guys think it's shit, but I'm here for the gains. And I made incredible money, and you guys just made okay money. All right, that's fine. You can be a Bitcoin maxi. There's a lot to like about Bitcoin. But I think there's going to be a day when XRP's market cap passes up Bitcoin substantially, and it's probably going to be this run. Why? Because XRP adds so much value. So something is a store of value, has great value, and Bitcoin is a store of value, makes sense in my mind. But XRP is going to upgrade the financial rails of the world, or much of the known world, so that money can be transacted simply, easily, securely, and cheaply. And that brings value like we've never seen before. And I think XRP's, now, most people don't know this, but XRP's market cap passed Bitcoin's market cap in 2017. I think it'll do it again. And people like Mark Moss going to have to eat their words. He is a smart guy. Bitcoin maxis, not looking at the bigger picture. They get so focused on Bitcoin that they're just like close off their mind to things because so many altcoins are shit that they assume that all altcoins are shit, and they're dead wrong. Illuvium land, tier 4 plots were going for 20K. Now you can get them under 2K. Thoughts on Illuvium? If they can survive, and I think they do, until the bull run, they're going to do tremendously well. And that those plots you can now buy for 2K will probably go for hundreds of thousands if they can survive. Now, they did get some additional funding that extended their roadmap or their timeline. And they secured that like 6 months ago. So hopefully they still have plenty of funds to continue, because that's the problem, is they're waiting for blockchain gaming to go ballistic again. And that'll probably happen in the coming 6 months. In the meantime, companies have to survive. Ember Sword may have just closed their doors. One of the better games out there that you could actually play, one of the better blockchain games, and it looks like they may have run out of capital and had to close their door. I think they closed all their social media accounts, so probably not a good sign. And cool game that if they had survived to the bull run would have done tremendously well. And I held some of their Ember token, I held some of their land. Keep in mind, crypto is just early stage business investment, and some of these early stage businesses are going to fail. If you're investing in good risk to reward ratios, the ones that don't fail are going to do so well to make up for the losses on the ones that do fail. And have you looked more into Dynex? It's been crushed over time. It was at 40 cents. All right, let's look at Dynex together. Here's Dynex. So they launched way back here. We're at 3 cents, went all the way up to $1.12 by August 2023. And I'm sure anybody who was holding it here wished they had sold here, because it's all the way back at 3.5 cents. Its market cap is down to 3.79 million. And let's look at its token vesting. We can't see their token vesting. So let's look at some other things. Let's look at their social media. Dynex, the world's only accessible neuromorphic quantum computing cloud for solving real-world problems at scale. So interesting. So the cloud computing idea combined with probably some AI narrative here And cloud computing and AI narrative aren't necessarily in the narrative right now. So it makes sense that their price is being punished. I wish we could see their token vesting, which often they will report to CoinMarketCap. In this case, they haven't. So we can't look and see. It might be token vesting that absolutely crushed this price. That tokens were vesting to the team and they just dumped and dumped and dumped some more. And then as the price started to go down, all the holders were panicking out and bam, this often happens in a bear market. So I like to see this level of market cap that maybe it's a good buy. The question is Dynex a proper risk to reward ratio? And the research I do before fully determining if I like something for long term is much deeper than what we can do here. I'll share with you a few tips of what I do. The first thing I do is I come to CoinMarketCap and I get an idea here. Secondly, I like to look more at their team and who the heck are these people and what is their background. Third, I look at their socials. Like I want to look at their Twitter, see what's going on with their Twitter. They got 60,000 followers, supposedly. And let's see what kind of engagement. So 254 likes on this comment. I always look at the first comment. I see if it's a pinned comment, realize it's going to be up there for longer than normal. So you got to scroll down and see what hasn't been up there for as long. So this is not a pinned comment. So this is organic. It's gotten 254 likes out of their 60,000 followers. That means they probably didn't buy these followers. These are probably legitimate followers. And I like to see that. 254 likes, 53 retweets, and 18 comments with 7.3K views. Okay. And it's pretty consistent. 6.6K views, 249 likes here, 51 reshares, 5.1K views, 210. So you're seeing some consistency. This means they probably didn't buy followers. These are probably legitimate followers, which may mean that they have a good community. I like to see that. The next step that I would be doing is I would be watching a bunch of interviews with the team members. Who are they? What is their vision for it? What makes their project special? And I'd be looking mostly on YouTube for that. You can also watch them, follow them, and try to find Twitter spaces where they're talking. But that's critical in your research because the team really determines the success. Memecoins is backed by a solid project. What? You're going to have to explain more. What do you mean it's backed by a solid project? Meaning it's the token, Mori token. I'm not even finding it. Memecoin. Let's see. Interesting. Memento Mori runes. Maybe you're talking about this. Market cap 1.4 million. Token's been absolutely devastated. That's not a bad thing. I like buying low to sell high. The question is, does this have any substance? It's a Bitcoin contract. Looks like website is ordinals. So is this a project behind doing ordinals? Interesting. Just looking at, I clicked on something. I don't know, like, okay, so maybe, yeah, I don't know if this is going to be my type of project at all. I would have to hear from the founders what makes it special. So it's tradable on CoinEx, Unisat, Magic Eden. Probably not going to be my type. Big A says, Runes as a whole has been wrecked. It's memes on Bitcoin. Got it. Yeah. Not really my style. Big A says he sold all of his runes months ago. Big A does play the Memecoins game. I don't. It's mostly just pumpamentals because there isn't much fundamentals behind memes. They're just for fun. And so trading on things that are just for fun, you just have to be trading on sentiment, hoping that more people are coming in than are going out. And so you're just trying to keep your fingers on the pulse of sentiment and trade based on sentiment. I would rather trade based on a true value proposition that a company is building something. For example, OneChain is building cross-chain compatibility so that you can send USDT, USDC, you can send ETH from one chain to another. Like potentially you could send ETH from the ETH chain to Cardano's chain. And so it's wrapped ETH on Cardano. Or you could send down the road building NFTs. So you can hold your NFTs in, say, your MetaMask wallet, but they could be on Cardano's chain, and you don't even have to know that they're on Cardano's chain. You just know that you're holding them in your MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet, and one chain making that possible. So it's delivering like actual substantive value. That's the type of project I like to invest in. Big A said, had a nice 10K profit trade on Meow last night. Was launched by Wilder World Dev. Yeah, I just meme coins. If I have one or two friends that trade meme coins, and some of them are successful and they make some money on, and some get rugged and they lose. So on average, do they make some money on it? I don't think they make anywhere near what greater strategy. Like most people will lose on it. A few will make some money on it. I think the bigger gains are buy during the bear market, substantive projects, and just holding to the bull market. Everyone I know that is meaningfully rich from crypto, that's what they do. Hey, Rain, do you have any knowledge on why Defini's price action was completely flat for the last 4 to 5 days? Well, I know someone with a huge amount of Defini tokens was dumping. And so it wasn't even flat in that they were selling a bunch. And so there's some people that offered, in fact, the company got involved, I think, to try to see if they could buy some from that guy over the counter. And I think he was trying to roll some of his funds into funding a blockchain game that he believed in. And so that's why he was selling. And it caused some downward price action. It's easy to do in a bear market when there's not tons of liquidity, that one seller with a bunch of tokens can absolutely drop the price. But remember, it doesn't matter in the short term what happens with the price action. The question is this: will it survive till the bull market? Then in the bull market, when the craziness hits and its narrative hits, what does it do then? In the meantime, it's not like I don't watch what they're doing. I don't get disturbed if their price drops. In fact, if it drops a whole lot, then I take that as an opportunity to buy more. For example, OMI was a pretty good deal at 0001, but it's now down 80% from there. So it's an amazing deal. So I've been buying more OMI. Yeah, Big A does have some connections, and the connections help, but well, memes have been good short-term profit only because I'm in it with the right people. Average person going to get wrecked. Not only does the average person get wrecked, like they get wrecked. And so, and some of your meme coin investments. So here's what I don't like about trading memes is even if somebody has some good contacts and they roll from one gain to the next, they might roll that then into one project that gets rugged and everything's erased. Not only all their gains are erased, but everything that they had going gets erased. And so that's what often happens. And so I don't know anybody who is meaningfully rich from trading these. So I know one person that bought a bunch of Dogecoin when it was cheap in like 2019 and 2020. They became meaningfully rich in 2021, but he didn't sell any of his Dogecoin. So he's really only meaningfully rich from him getting a bunch of social media traction and the money he makes from social media. Because he didn't take profits on it. He still owns all that Dogecoin. So he's not even meaningfully rich from a meme coin. He's meaningfully rich by creating a big following because of that meme coin, and he gets big YouTube revenues and other social media revenues. All right. Any other thoughts, guys? Anything on this Friday? It's an amazing time to be alive. Don't forget that. It's amazing. Gala shut down Walking Dead Empire's game development, and if you buy NFTs, you will receive NFT box to get some NFTs from their other games. Miranda, 30 plus million NFT sale game, looks like a 30K budget. Yes. Yeah, Gala's concerning to me. I wouldn't touch Gala with a 10-foot pole. I've just seen some concerning actions from them over the past 3 years. Now, one of their founders, not the game development founder, I really like everything I've heard of one of their founders. It was the founder that been in the crypto space for forever, and he made a bunch of money with Bitcoin mining. And he helped fund and found Gala. And I know some people that know that guy very personally. In fact, I went to meet up with a good friend of mine who is great friends with him and stayed at their condo in Sundance. He owns like a bunch of condos in Sundance, Utah, and where the Sundance Film Festival is, and the condos are very nice. And that was one of the founders of Gala, and that guy is great. The person over gaming development has made some weird choices that I don't own any Gala. I'm not going to. I was watching closely, seeing where Mirandus was going, and they made some decisions related to Mirandus. So I was like, I don't like how these guys operate. And I didn't like some of the ways, like with the spider tanks, they would sell you could buy the ultra rare spider tank for 12,000, and it augmented how many tokens you could earn by playing the game. But the cost benefit of analysis didn't make sense for the people playing the game. The amount of higher you paid for it, I just felt like they didn't deliver value to their people. Sure, people who bought Gala nodes in the early days made a fortune. And I know some people that bought some Gala nodes in the early days. They made a fortune. But yeah, I don't think they're going to survive long term is my guess. And so for me, I won't invest in them. They're not my type of thing. Do I like Myria? I like Myria much better. Do I know if Myria will survive? I think they probably will. I have 21 nodes in Myria that get me tokens every month. I think they'll probably survive, but it is a time period where blockchain gaming's price across the board is way, way down. And it's a good time to be looking at undiscovered gems, like undervalued gems in the blockchain gaming space. All right. Well, crypto market is near bottom prices on some things like blockchain gaming and other things. Good decisions made during these next few months will likely lead to massive change in your financial lives coming up. Now, as you know, I've created this course, Zero to Crypto Hero. It's not right for everyone. It isn't. Those who have a high value on their time, this shortens your learning curve tremendously. There is a cost associated with it. Of course, there's a cost associated with it, but it can lead to your gains being so much higher. Now, you can always go back and watch my videos for the last 2.5 years and learn, kind of absorb everything I've learned through the last 8 years in crypto investment. Cool. And that's one approach to go. Another approach to go would be take the course and shorten the amount of time it takes you to really catch up to speed with all the lessons I've learned over the last 8 years. If you are like most of us, we came into crypto for life-changing gains, but were you aware that 89% of people do rather poorly in crypto? Only 5% achieve massive gains, and it's because they're doing things differently than most in crypto do. If you want to learn what most successful people in crypto do different, my Zero to Crypto Hero course will show you 5 massive mistakes to avoid and 3 things you need to be doing right. Yeah. Massive mistakes to avoid and things to do right. It's amazing how if you're just doing the right things over time in crypto, it adds up to massive gains. So thanks for joining us on this Friday. I've enjoyed chatting with you and just sharing with you. And congratulations to Chris Ashby for winning both our giveaways. We will see you all soon. Big A, catch you later. Got to get together and play soon. We're playing a lot of off the grid. I don't know about you guys. Man, I get burned out by video games these days. So I took a breather, though I did jump on yesterday, Big A. We missed you. Played with some of our old crew and had some wins. We'll see y'all soon. Enjoy this wrap. You know what this is about. See you soon.
Came into the space, chasing all of the games, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, shit bad before you could. Was taught to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always made the time in mind. I take the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. The principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, studying to know that nothing comes easy but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this wrong cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. Strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. They go with the hate, say the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough. And that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.